Hi and welcome to the Trading Bell Show. We're right here at Equity Center to speak to the Group Managing Director and CEO, Dr. James Mwangi himself, to understand how is the bank doing amidst all these macro effects that we're seeing, and of course, what is a message of resilience to especially the customers. Dr. Ari, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Very well. You look still fresh and uptight. Looks like you have a regimen that you need to teach me about. Let's start this conversation on what you just recently did, the latest event, if I may call it that, on the financial side of things. And you released your Q3 and you're just about to release your full year results. And I'm curious to know from your perspective, what are you foreseeing coming, looking at the operating environment that you are in?
2023 was a very, very difficult year from a perspective of operating environment.
Yeah.
And this is not a Kenyan operating environment, it's a global operating environment.
Yeah.
And there's transmission of whatever is happening globally because the financial sector is very highly interconnected.
Yeah.
So we are operating under an environment still of heightened inflation. Interest rates have stabilized at very, very high rates.
Yeah.
And exchange rates have been trying to balance off the interest rates and inflation. So we have seen a lot of volatility at that level. And so these three forces being not in equilibrium position provides a lot of challenges for both the economic the managers of the economy and managers of enterprises. But we trust and believe that the shock is starting to wind down. It may take a year or so before we now start feeling the positive impact. But that unwinding seems to start this year.
Okay. I'd like you to comment on how you plan to improve or sustain this particular performance that you've had. I had a conversation with the Bankers Association, Dr. Habil, and he told me when Central Bank revised their interest rates, I mean, it's going to affect the entire sector as a banking sector. And I'm sure you've had a hit as well on that, just like your colleagues out there. How are you navigating this to continuously maintain your performance?
As we said, this is a very difficult year financially. And from equity perspective, this year we are not looking at our performance from a balance sheet and profitability, but from the health of our customers. The objective this year is to sustain our customers, to support them to go through this very difficult period. So numbers will be what they will be.
Absolutely.
My concern is, are we able to support the customers the way we supported them during the COVID season?
You're right.
And save businesses and provide the livelihoods to enterprises so that they can support their employees. And if they are family businesses, they're able to support their families. We believe good days are ahead of us, but for the time being, it's the focus is survival of the businesses. From a central bank perspective, I don't envy the role of a governor of the central bank at the moment, because essentially he has to manage the transmission of the impact of the economic prices, that is inflation, exchange rate, and interest rates. And that delicate balance has found him where he is. The last time he increased the central bank rate from 10.5 to 12.5, 200 basis jump in just one incident. We see this time the inflation has shown its aggressive phase again. The underlying inflation and top line inflation both have increased by about 200 basis points. So we are waiting to see what the governor will do on 5th of February. That is today or tomorrow.
Anytime.
So, and we take guidance. But essentially, we in the financial sector is, yes, allow the transmission to pass into the economy, but cushion the customers, try to cushion the customers. As we said, this shock might break by the end of this year. The question is, how many customers will be in a state then to start all over again by the end of the year? How many customers will have been preserved? Numbers, as I said, will be what they will be.
Absolutely. Well, speaking still on the numbers, because you are one of your diversifications in the insurance sector, and I wanted to just understand from you and any insights into your performance in the insurance sector. How is it doing?
This bank was built on financial inclusion.
Yes.
We started off when only 4% of Kenyans had access to financial services. Now 90% of Kenyans have access to financial services. So we had to change the business model.
Absolutely.
And we have now focused on segmenting the market, seeing where people have landed over time, how well they have used financial services. And we have realized as people made progress and moved on the ladder, whether they have moved from micro to small, from small to medium, from medium to large enterprises, they need a different value proposition. And we have focused on product proposition so that the value is on the product that support businesses at where they are.
Absolutely.
And out of that, we realized two things. We needed to diversify our offering. People needed more than banking. They needed to secure the assets they had achieved.
Absolutely.
We had helped them enhance the quality of their lives. They needed to invest in their lives and secure their lives. They needed health, because now the focus is the quality of life, and health is central to that. So we have moved now to become one-stop shop for financial services. So you get insurance, you get banking, you get investment, you move money, you make payments, just in one under one roof. At the same time, we realized our customers have continued to grow and have moved from the Kenyan market and now are playing in a larger East African community market. And as a result, we have had to follow them. And now we have become a regional bank, having presence in the entire East African community. And that has given our customers a very significant market size. And we have followed that by being a catalyst, by conducting trade missions, like from Kenya to DRC, from DRC to Rwanda, from Uganda to DRC, and the same, just to create and to give what the customers are looking for.
Okay, wow, lovely. And just finally on the numbers again, and you've just mentioned the regional presence that you have. I'm curious to understand, what are you seeing in your perspective regionally, the acceptance, the growth, and what are you observing?
In terms of numbers, we have started seeing that the regional diversification strategy has worked perfectly.
Great.
To be honest, when you look at the economies, the shock has been more severe in Kenya. So while we have had difficulties in Kenya, steadying the ship in terms of numbers, the experience in DRC, Uganda and Rwanda has been very different. Those are markets that during this period have been very resilient and has registered extraordinary performance, covering any gaps that we have experienced in Kenya. So that has really given a flavor to the organization, now not being a Kenyan risk, but a regional risk. We realize 50% of the balance sheet, it's outside Kenya now, and maybe more than 50% of the profit will be coming from the regional subsidiaries. And so we truly can say Kenya has produced one of the biggest East African regional company.
Wow. Let's talk about your acquisitions. I've seen you've been quite bullish on that, and I think the latest one was the Coach Bank. I'm trying to just pronounce it in the French way. You teach me this. And of course, merger with Equity Bank Rwanda. I just wanted to ask you, these recent acquisitions and mergers, what are you looking to achieve and, to reach out in the region?
Yeah, Rwanda, relative to Kenya, is a smaller market in terms of population and geographical size. In terms of development, slightly behind Kenya. And we wanted to be a significant player in a small market. And the only way you grow to significant size is through acquisition and mergers. And so we targeted the fifth largest bank. We were number 2. And that has now given us a 19% market share of the entire banking industry in Rwanda, from 13% where we were. And that then brings the economies of scale. It gives a balance sheet that allows us to support our customers in Rwanda much better. Our single lending obliga have moved from an individual loan of $15 million. Now we can do $25 million. So in that market, then we are a sizable bank. But more importantly, we now have a balance sheet in Rwanda that can anchor regional trade. What has really been missing. We are now able to facilitate cross-border trade. And we have really become a catalyst of the African continental free trade area. Facilitating to create one single market for our traders and businesses.
Wow. Thanks so much for that. And I want to move on to the Africa Recovery and Resilience Plan, because you are at the heart of it. And just wanted to understand what progress has been made so far in this particular implementation, and how does it align with your broader vision for sustainable growth and impact across our continent?